Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633 and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Generation 1 Blitzwing. Now, this is actually the second figure in my series of Blast from the Past reviews, and it's none other than one of my favorite G1 toys that I currently own. Now, I got this Blitzwing several years back. It's been quite some time since I actually owned this, and he's been in my collection for quite some time, and he's pretty much been on the shelf for most of the time. I did pick him up a couple days to fiddle around with him, but that's about it. It's also one of the few toys that I actually own the original box to. Not sure exactly what Children's Place is, since I didn't grow up during the G1. So I don't know some of these older stores, but it is kind of interesting that this sticker's still there on the box. As you can see, in the old days, Hasbro had this logo. It's completely different to what we see today. And the boxes were made out of this very good cardboard material that, even after all these years, actually stays pretty well. The only thing I don't have with the Blitzwing is the instruction booklet, the tech specs. Well, they're technically on the back here, but all the inserts and the actual bubble that contain Blitzwing. But I do have the weapons that he came with and several other things. But yeah, it's pretty cool and I really enjoy it. Shows that it's a triple changer Blitzwing and so on. Shows some more shots. There isn't too much to go on for it just because it is a Generation 1 toy. Just to show a quick bio there. And so on and so forth. So now we'll just quickly go on to the figure itself. Now, the figure is obviously based on the representation of the G1 cartoon, and since this is actually based on a Diaclone toy when it was initially released, it's actually not too far off from the design. His head sculpt is okay. Obviously, it's not totally accurate to the G1 cartoon, but it is close enough. Unfortunately, mine doesn't have any stickers. The only thing it does have is the heat rub insignia for the Decepticon logo there. And it is a bit loose in the legs, but it does stand pretty well enough, so it's not really too bad. Otherwise, the joints are actually pretty tight and really awesome. But anyways, technically for the transformation here, it's supposed to keep this down all the way. But I kind of like to keep this up just to give it a little bit more life in the back there. But anyways, articulation-wise, there isn't anything you really expect too much out of a G1 toy. His arms can pretty much do that. And that's it for articulation. He doesn't have any other points of articulation. The two weapons that he does come with is his blaster and his sword. And unlike other G1 toys where you kind of just need to kind of plug them in, these actually plug onto the sides. So it does work a little differently than the standard G1 toys where you just plug it in like a normal figure. So it is kind of interesting, though it can be a bit weird, especially for the sword, since it doesn't cover the whole thing. But it is pretty cool for a Generation 1 toy. We'll just take out the weapons here and go on to the transformation. Now, the transformation is pretty simple, but pretty yes, at the time. First, you need to push in the hands. Then you're going to collapse the feet. You're going to push down the spin pieces, since it actually is easier to put it into tank mode before putting it into jet mode. All you need to do next is detach these pieces. Turn this entire component around, like this. Plug them together. Slide that back. And then you got G1 Blitzwing in his vehicle mode. Now, obviously none of the tires are real tires, and all it is plastic wheels at the bottom. But the figure I forgot to mention earlier that does actually sport some die-cast pieces. If I remember correctly, these blue pieces down here are die-cast. And let me think. I think there was one other point of die-cast. There is a bunch of metal pins throughout the body, so there is obviously that for die-cast. And I think his chest was in a die-cast too. Yeah, I think his chest is out of die-cast too. So his chest and the leg pieces are mostly out of die-cast. Now what's cool about this tank mode is that it is very reminiscent of an old style tank. And it's cool is that the tank is actually quite more articulated than other tanks we've seen, since it actually has the ability to slide back and forth and also spin around as well. and at the same time so on. So it works more like an actual tank than any of the other tank Transformers toys we had in the past, or even in the present day, so it's pretty awesome. It does roll okay. Obviously it doesn't roll too ridiculously well because these are just plastic wheels. Unfortunately, it's typical for a G1 toy, you cannot store these weapons anywhere in vehicle mode, in either vehicle mode, so you just kind of have somewhat of kibble pieces of their weapons on the side. But that's pretty much it for the tank mode. To transfer it into jet mode, what you're going to do is pull these pieces as if you're going to roll mode. But before that, you're going to pull out these little pieces on the side here. So you got these little back fin pieces. And you push this kind of backwards like this. Then you're going to pull out the fin. And there you have G1 Blitzwing in his jet mode. Now in this mode, he does roll okay. These are not actual wheels, they're just molded pieces, so he doesn't really have any wheels. But if you want to, in order to help support and so on, he does have a landing gear, which is made of a die-cast metal piece here, correctly. And it can kind of roll okay, but it isn't overall too much. In this mode, he actually does have exposed rocket missiles here. And to activate them, what you're supposed to do is push a little gray button down here, and they kind of just slide out, so they don't have a real spring mechanism per se. So these can be lost easily if not played with properly, but they do stay in pretty snugly, so you don't have to worry about the pieces falling out or anything. So overall, I still think G1 Blitzwing is a really awesome toy. To transform it back into robot mode, you're gonna obviously put back in the landing gear, push this piece down, turn these pieces around as normal, slide down the feet. Oh wait, actually I forgot. There is actually one more component of the vehicle mode, so I'm just going to quickly show it with the fins up. So here we go. I'm going to slide these fins up. So yeah, these pieces I do actually tend to forget to pull out at times, but just to show how the jet mode does look fully with the component. Here's how G1 Blitzwing looks fully in his jet mode, since, yeah. I love the fact that he does give you the ability to do that, and it's pretty awesome. You're gonna, now transferring it back into the regular mode, you're gonna slide these pieces up. Sometimes it gets caught there, so be wary. I don't know why it's getting kind of stuck there. There you go. You're gonna detach these pieces so that you put back these purple back fins. Let's keep this piece up. Just slide down the feet, and then you're going to collapse the fin in the back, like so. Slide this piece back up. And then to finish it off, what you could do is kind of dig into the arms, and then you slide out hands, and there you have G1 Blitzwing back in his robot mode. So yeah, I really enjoy the engineering of this toy, especially since it is based on a quite old toy design, since it was actually predate the Transformers, since it is a part of the Diaclone line. And I think they did a nice job bringing the toy over, and I'm really glad to actually own the G1 Blitzwing, even though I do also own the Generations Blitzwing, which sadly didn't get as lucky in terms of cool toy. But overall, I still think G1 Blitzwing is really cool, and if you can get a hold of one, I highly recommend picking him up. Anyways, please comment and subscribe, and check out the channels down below. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter under Darkon633, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I'll see you YouTube. Oh, and also check out Hirotaku, and with their new layout and everything, and it actually looks pretty awesome so far, so check that out when you get the chance. Anyways, please comment and subscribe. Check out the channels, like I said, below, and I'll see you YouTube. Bye.